It's Kathy. I'm back. This is my space on the YouTube where I talk about my sewing practice, and it's mostly garment sewing. And if you're interested in any of that, stick around. Today we're going to have two sections of the video, and in the first section we'll break it up into three parts. The first part's going to be what I've made recently, and then after that we'll go on to my closet report. And then after that, what I'm going to make going forward or whatever my current projects are. All right, so let's start with my recent makes. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Rhapsody by Love Notions. I looked at my file for Love Notions and I was embarrassed on how many Love Notion patterns I have. For someone who takes pride in making up almost every pattern she owns, I realized I was not being honest with myself. I have quite a few patterns that have not been made up. Thank you, Love Notions ambassadors, for encouraging me to buy all these patterns. The Rhapsody I had actually not ever made up before. Of course, it gets rave reviews, and I like a peasant style top to a point, but I was a little afraid of it being too blossomy, bloomy, floaty. But I needed to give it a try. And when I did give it a try, I broke the color code. Yes, I'm going to get arrested by the color police because this is way out of my color spectrum. But it's summer, guys. I mean, come on. You have to have some bright, fun summer colors. Isn't that fun? Look how beautiful it is. It's a slub knit, but it doesn't have much stretch. So I decided right away to kind of choose it, to treat it more like a woven. Love Notion recommends for this pattern to have lightweight wovens with drapes such as crepe, rayon, or challis, voile, lawn, peach skin, 100% rayon, gauze, silk, or chiffon. Clearly this is not one of those fabrics, but like I said, it really acts more like, not a rayon, but, oh, let's say a gauze. It probably acts like a gauze. It's a slub knit with no stretch. So anyway, as far as that part, it worked out real well. I might have made it a little too big because I could fit a t-shirt under it the day I did wear it. I didn't mean to not put ties on it, and I wish I had put ties on it, but I was just sewing along and snipped them off. And the reason I wish I did have them is they do want to curl under just a little bit. My finishings are good, I would say. And then I used a linen on the back. I had plenty of fabric to do the back, but I thought if I saved the fabric, I might be able to get a skirt out of it and have a little bit of like a faux dress. But now that I wore the top one day, it's so colorful. I don't know whether I'm feeling having all this color on me, but you know, it's an option. I have not hemmed it because, not because I don't want to or I'm lazy. I just don't know the length I want yet. I tend to be putting things a little bit shorter than I used to because I'm wearing higher waisted pants. So, you know, and obviously once I get it too short, I can't go down. So it's a little bit of, that part's still a little bit of a work in progress. And if I haven't shown you already, I'll take a picture and put it somewhere in here. So that was one of my makes from last week. The other make is the game day jersey. Now this one was an unplanned make, but I was gifted some really nice French terry and gray, which I don't really wear much gray anymore. I just kind of fell out of love with it. So I thought of my husband because, you know, he's a man, they wear gray. And I've made this top for him a few times. This is my third. It's the Game Day Jersey by Love Notions. And he loves it, and I've got the pattern, you know, fitting him really good. He even likes the wearable muslin I made for him out of double brush Ponte. So it's been a success, and I will show you that top. So just a moment. Can't get it all on the frame right here, but I will definitely put up another picture. This is the inside. Like I said, it's a really good French terry. It won't, I'm sure it won't pill. It's just so nice. I wish you could just feel it. I wish I could buy it. I mean, if I could buy this, I'd buy it. But I was gifted it, and I don't know where it came from. Okay, so when I was making this, I followed the pattern. I believe I made 1X. The only thing I do different when I make the game tay is I lengthen the seam allowance where the yoke meets the back, and then that enables me to use that increased seam allowance. I just increase it up to a 1/2 inch, and it's already 3/8, so it's not a big deal. But then I can stitch it up, and I just like the way that looks. So I used my cover stitch and stitched it up. I'm not sure you can see that, but that's one change I made. And then when he did his fitting, I hadn't put the cuffs on yet for the sleeves, and he requested to just keep them at 3, like bracelet length sort of. So they're a little short, and I didn't put cuffs on them. But I actually think the pattern calls for that. But okay, so then when I'm making a top that has side vents, I'm a little persnickety about that because I just feel like it's a focal point that can look really cheesy. So what I did is I took the front and the back pieces together, and there was a 1 inch difference, but that didn't really affect anything. The back was 1 inch longer. And I started at the bottom and I sewed up about 6 inches, but the first 4 inches of that was on a basting stitch. And this is all on the regular sewing machine. So we're talking for the first 4 inches, I had a stitch length of the greatest I could, 5 millimeters. And then after about 4 inches, I brought it down to just a regular stitch length. And this is kind of thick, so it was like a 3.0. And I did the exact same thing on the other side, so they would be equal and match. Okay, so after I did that, I took it over to the serger and serged over a little bit of where I had done the machine stitch, like 1 inch, and then serged the rest of the way up. Because of course you want to serge, you don't want to use your regular machine because you need that stretch. But I needed the precision of the regular machine for the vent because, like I said, I like the vents to look nice and tidy. And I have a certain way I want them to look. So after I did that, I opened up those vent extensions and top stitched around a rectangle. And then after that, I hemmed up, because that's the, after you do these 2 seams, all you have left is the hems for the bottom and the sleeves. So then I scooched that over just a little bit so that it wouldn't peek out on the other side and did my hem. And I did a 1 inch hem, and I do have a cover stitch machine, so it's done on the cover stitch. And I caught my edge rather well. So anyway, he loves it. I'm so blessed. If I make him stuff and he loves it, he's just very grateful. So that's nice. Okay, so that's my recent makes. Now let's go on to my closet. Okay, so my closet has a goal. My closet wants to be concise, coordinated, and cohesive. So right now I have 31 pieces in it. And I usually have between 28 and 31, so that's pretty normal. What I have right now is mostly me-made pants. So out of the 7 bottoms I have in my closet right now, 6 of them are me-made. The shirts are 50%. So 8 have been me-made and 8 have not. So it's a total of 16. And then your outer pieces, which can go anything from like a cardigan to a little jacket, I don't knit, so all my cardigans, which is a real staple in my closet, those are all store-bought. And I have 2 me-mades in my outer garments currently out of 8. So I'm not real heavy in me-made right now, and there's a reason. It's because I was trying some different styles, and I won't get into all that, but that's my closet report. 31 pieces, about half of them are me-made right now. Okay, next thing I'm going to talk about is my current project. I had a hard time deciding on which project would be my next project, but since I had just made the game day jersey for my husband, And I'd also made a shower gift for someone who's actually, it's a great story, and I might have to include that, but I don't want this video to get too long. But anyway, it's about someone who got pregnant unexpectedly. Let's just use that as the teaser. And it was a very enjoyable make. But anyway, since I had just done a couple things that were not for myself, I thought you would find it more interesting if I did something for, you know, a woman. And I have this beautiful fabric that has a story. So what do you think of that? I mean, it is right in my color wheel. I've got a video of my husband holding it so you can see the drape on it. It's 100% rayon, well, viscose. I consider it the same thing. And it's 55 inches wide, and I have 2 or 3 yards. I didn't write it down. I'm surprised I didn't. I don't usually get that much, but this was a special order. And so I'll just start backwards then. So I found a fabric shop called Hawthorne Supply. It's in Upper New York, and it's Margaret Jean. The last name is Jeane. She's on Instagram. But the reason I found her was because I watched the Dahlia Society, the sewist over in Australia, and sometimes she would refer to a fabric supplier she uses called something Hansen. I just lost. I think it's Frida, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, and I looked up on that site, and it was just cost prohibitive to have it sent. The prices were totally fair, but to have that artist's fabric sent to me that I fell in love with, it was just not worth it to me. So I looked up the artist, and here she considers herself an Ohioan, in other words, an American, which is where I'm from. And she lives in Tennessee, which is the state south of me. So I found her through an Australian website, and she lives like 2 hours from me. And so I started following her on Instagram. She's like, if you like that kind of soft watercolor or pastel, a little bit abstract look like I do, she is so talented. Oh, her art's beautiful. And so I chose, as you can tell, I chose this print. So it's right in my colors, like I said, and I think it's cheerful and fun. And of course, it's kind of a special make. So I wasn't sure what to do. And I really just, like I said, I've been buying a lot of patterns this year, so I didn't really want to check out a whole new pattern. And so the woven blouse that I've made recently is the one I have on, the Frida. And then I've also made the Wren. And I like them both, but I decided that this fits me so well, and it's such an everyday blouse. This version I have made in a cotton woven. It's not quilting fabric whatsoever, but it has a little bit of a hand like it. I think I would describe it as the weave is like probably 3/4 the amount of threads per inch is cotton or quilting fabric, but you know, it does exactly what I want it to do. So I'm real happy with this make. And so since I feel like this is so tried and true, even though I've only made it once, I want to do something tried and true. So I'm just going to make up the blouse in this. So that's going to be my current, as soon as I finish this video, I will put it out on my cutting table and get that thing started. So that's going to be my current project.